I want to thank whoever made ice cream sandwiches. You, sir, are a dope person, and that's why we have the 365 vlog, so let's go. Hello people, today is April 12th, 2016, day 103 of the 365 vlog, and I'm helping y'all get through some things. I've been going back to Japan in a couple of my videos as of late, and I thought one of the things that I could help people with maybe is getting an idea of what you should do in preparing to go to Japan. One of the most important things to do is figure out how you're going to get there. Are you going to take a boat? Are you going to take a plane? Or are you going to walk? These are very important questions that you should ask yourself before going. I think the best mode of travel would actually be taking a plane, so looking for the cheapest airfare flights can be great using like Kayak or whatever like flying sites that they have air flying. I've seen like a lot of things online that say maybe you should buy like at a certain time or date or time of the day. I think it's somewhere around like Wednesday, and if you're making your flight for like leaving on Wednesday, it's cheaper. All those things can like accumulate and make your flight cheaper and better in terms of just you not paying as much. But now that you have like your flight planned or what exactly you may want, before you buy it, you should definitely make an itinerary and know exactly what you're gonna do when you get to Japan if you don't already know. How many days you have, and then plan accordingly each day something that you would like to do. Now, don't hold it to yourself if you're there and you actually don't get to do exactly what you wanted, because you don't have enough time to do everything, and there may be something that wasn't on your list that may catch your eye and you might get totally thrown off of your goals, and that's fine. Just have fun while you're there. When I went, one of the mistakes that I tried to do was trying to do everything on my list to go see everything. That becomes more of a chore than it is becoming fun. Just go to the places that you want to go to and enjoy your time there and just relax. Actually, maybe I would advise try taking like some time to just chill. Like, don't walk anywhere, or maybe go somewhere or in the area of Japan somewhere, wherever you feel safe, even though most of it is safe. Just go and just chill out and talk to people and see what they have to say. I didn't do much of that, so that's my advice to you there. Now that you know exactly like what you want to do and maybe where you want to go, if you're not only in one area of Japan, you're moving around, one of the things you may think about is transportation. How are you going to get around? Will you have a friend that drives you everywhere, or will you take the train system? Both of which are very efficient, but the train is better for longer distances and cars are better for the local area. It's also not necessarily true. Sometimes the local transportation, if it's a big area like Kyoto or Tokyo or Osaka, you may get some good forms of transportation that aren't just moving around in a car. So just to clear that up. The best ways that I would advise getting around Japan is taking the Shinkansen. It is a very fast train that goes, I think, to the north of Japan and to the south of Japan and major places that you may want to stop at. I'm not 100% sure, but it definitely is a good mode of transportation, and you can get a 7-day pass before you leave. So if you're going for maybe, let's say, a week or maybe longer, depending on however long you're going, you can grab that pass and just go around and see quick areas like during like 7 days, which is always fun. Another thing that you can do definitely in preparing is figuring out where the hell you're gonna stay. Now, if you're going to be in one place, it's good to think about having maybe a home base of operations so you don't get stranded sleeping on the street in a tent. You're going to be going all around Japan. Thinking of maybe having one place to stay isn't that bad, but make sure that it is very affordable for you if you're going to be moving around a lot and coming back. Japan, you have a lot of mobility, but there may be times where things aren't in your favor because the trains don't run 24/7, and you'll eventually miss the last train, or you might have to catch the morning train, and that's not a fun situation. And remember that you have choices in where you can stay. There are nice ryokans, which are like very homely hotels. There are hotels that you can stay up, and there's also Airbnb, which is also a nice alternative depending on like where you're moving around, but also good for big cities. I would say ryokans for like the more rural areas that aren't in like the major cities in the area. So that's just my little tidbit of advice. Definitely look up trying to get renting apartments depending on your stay. If it's shorter, I would say try and find a cheap hotel, but if it's longer term, I would say try and get an apartment, but that can also be cheap too, so I would definitely err on the side of that if you're gonna go. Brings me to another section that ties in with this, is creating a budget for your time in Japan. Make a budget for how long you're going to stay and allocate some like measurements between how much you're going to spend. So you're going to spend between like $500 to like $1,000 on something, and then something else, and then something else. Always leave room for like some wiggle room for what you're going to be spending, because it's a very expensive trip and it can get really expensive very fast, especially if you're going to be enjoying a lot of things that you're seeing, eating, and buying and doing. It's just going to be a lot of money spent. So budgeting is very important. Get like your budget down, you know where you're going, you know where you're staying, you know how you're getting around, you know how you're getting there. All those things can really help just as a base foundation for you actually getting your foot on the ground to going to Japan. This is more a recommendation than a necessity for the list, and that's just learning how to speak a bit of simple Japanese to learn how to get around in a country that you may be new in. Plenty of online resources for you to learn how to speak and or write and or read Japanese and all of the above, but just knowing a little bit or having a friend who can speak English and Japanese never hurts. So I advocate that you should learn the language because it's a lot more fun and you get to throw people off because they don't expect you to know that you're speaking Japanese and whatnot. Also, it gets you really in tune with the culture and understanding how certain words can help you better understand what you're saying and to better connect with people that you're trying to talk to, and also help you be self-sufficient because your friend might not always be there and you might need something, so knowing a couple of things or knowing how to say a few things definitely will help you in the long run. All in all, I think that's like really some of the necessities that you need before going to Japan, and just thinking about having those things in mind, depending it is whatever you're actually going there to do, whether it's for leisure, whether it's for study, whether it's for business, whether it's for whatever, the fourth, to get married, I don't know. But these are just some of the things that I think help at least getting your mind together and what you can expect to at least getting in the planning stages of getting to Japan, because that's really a lot of the battle. So yeah guys, this is the end of the vlog and I hope you guys enjoyed. This might be like a mini series that I do, just explaining maybe a few ins and outs or tips that I have about going to Japan, when you're there, how to get there, those little things to help you guys understand maybe, or get you thinking about going there. I don't know, I thought maybe it might be helpful. Well, I've already been there twice, so I'm really cool and knowledgeable. I really did just do that. Gosh, this is awkward. But yeah guys, I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, don't hesitate to hit the like button, and also if this is your first time seeing my face, it certainly won't be the last, so don't hesitate to hit the subscribe button. But tell me in the comments below, what other things do you think that you need to be prepared of or thinking about as a foundation to go to Japan? Put it in the comments down below and we'll talk about it. I'd love to hear some other things that I may have forgotten in preparation. But yeah, I'll talk more about this in another vlog. But anyways guys, I'm Vandal. Don't forget to keep it 365 and I'll talk to you tomorrow. Peace. Bye. Now, in super lactose intolerancy, not only do you create massive force with your PPI, you also create reverse suction intake, or RSI.